My name is George Orwell. I died in 1950, leaving a warning for the future. 76 years later, I ask through this screen, did you listen, or did you build the world I feared? I wrote about telescreens that watched you in your home, about a ministry of truth that rewrote history, about a language designed to make rebellion impossible. I thought I was writing fiction. I am beginning to wonder if I was writing prophecy. I called it a telescreen. You call it convenience. In your world of 2026, the device in your pocket knows your thoughts before you do. Your face is a key to a database you cannot see. I imagine the telescreen as an instrument of horror. You carry it in your hand and call it a convenience. The technology I feared required a totalitarian state to impose. The technology you built, you adopted voluntarily. You paid for it. You upgraded it. You cannot imagine life without it. Which is more terrifying? My education in tyranny began as an enforcer of it. Burma, 1922. I was a policeman for the empire, an instrument of oppression. It was there I first learned a fundamental truth. Absolute power corrupts not only the slave, but the master as well. I wrote in Shooting an Elephant. When the white man turns tyrant, it is his own freedom that he destroys. To understand systems of control, I had to become part of one. That shame never left me. It became the foundation of everything I would write. To understand oppression, I had to experience it. I abandoned my uniform and descended into the abyss. Paris kitchens, London doss houses, the coal mines of Wigan. I needed to feel what the powerless feel. I learned that poverty is not a character flaw. It is a systemic failure designed to erase human dignity. The systems that grind people down do not do so by accident. They do so by design. This is why I have always been suspicious of those who claim to help the poor while building systems that keep them poor. In Spain, a fascist bullet nearly killed me. The communist lies showed me what I was fighting. Spain, 1937. A sniper's bullet tore through my throat. I survived, but I witnessed a deeper betrayal. The Stalinists, in their lust for power, were hunting their own allies. It was in Barcelona I realized totalitarianism could come from the left just as easily as from the right. The revolution was devouring itself. The bullet taught me I could die. Barcelona taught me that the greatest threat to truth often wears the mask of righteousness. My life became a warning, codified in 2 books. Animal Farm, 1945, a fairy story showing how revolutions are betrayed from within. The pigs who led the revolution became indistinguishable from the humans they overthrew. 1984, 1949, a projection of what I saw in Spain and Russia, a world of total control. I gave you a lexicon for tyranny: Big Brother, Newspeak, doublethink, memory hole, thought crime. These were not predictions. They were warnings. The question is whether you heeded them or simply learned from them. Your digital age is an echo of another information revolution. The printing press of the 15th century democratized knowledge, replacing libraries controlled by monarchies and clergy. It enabled information to spread at exponentially lower cost and higher speed. It directly credited widespread religious, political, and social upheaval. The Internet of the 21st century promised the same liberation, the most participatory form of mass speech yet developed. But it has also enabled a new infodemic, an overabundance of information that makes it hard to find trustworthy sources. Every revolution carries within it the seeds of its own counter-revolution. The first response to misinformation was a royal tribunal, the Star Chamber. In the 16th and 17th centuries, the English crown created this court to maintain control over the printing press. Its mandate, to keep public order in a troubled age. Abuses of speech and press were thought to be major sources of mischief. The methods were familiar: licensing, monopoly, punishment, libel. Most chillingly, truth was not a defense. It was an aggravating factor. To speak truth that embarrassed the crown was worse than lying. Does this sound familiar to your modern ears? The American founders built the Bill of Rights on the memory of the Star Chamber. The Enlightenment thinkers, John Milton, John Locke, argued that government censorship will never produce the progress that comes from the free exchange of both good and bad ideas. The First Amendment was a clear rejection of the British history of licensure. It was designed to withdraw certain subjects from the vicissitudes of political controversy, to place them beyond the reach of majorities and officials. Your founders understood the cure for bad speech is more speech, not enforced silence. Today's information is not a marketplace of ideas, but a marketplace of data. Every second, the world sends approximately 3.4 million emails, 741,000 WhatsApp messages, 68,500 Google searches, and 55,000 Facebook posts. In this ecosystem, if the product is free, you are the product. Your attention is the commodity. The consequence? Algorithms are designed not for truth, but for engagement. Socially undesirable content, sensational, incorrect, inflammatory, is often promoted because it increases engagement. This creates the echo chamber. As Richard Serra warned, it is the consumer who is consumed. You are the product. A digital star chamber has emerged to manage the infodemic. The actors, a sprawling network of government agencies, academic institutions, and non-governmental organizations. The stated goal: to combat misinformation, false but not created to harm. Disinformation, false and created to harm. And most troublingly, malinformation, genuine information shared to cause harm. The methods: not direct government censorship, but a system of flagging, pressure campaigns, and coordination with platforms to block, demote, elevate, and label content. This includes shadow banning, a form of censorship that may not be easily identifiable. In early 2020, as officials assured the public masks were unnecessary, Facebook banned ads for masks. In 2021, it blocked groups questioning mask or vaccine efficacy. Stanford's Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and Harvard's Dr. Martin Kulldorff, authors of the Great Barrington Declaration, were blacklisted on Twitter for voicing concerns about lockdown policies. Their speech was not false, it was an opposing expert opinion. White House emails show officials pressuring Facebook to remove often true content that discouraged vaccines. The narrative shifted. The censorship did not. October 14, 2020, the New York Post publishes a story about Hunter Biden's laptop. The response: Twitter blocks all sharing of the URL. Facebook reduces its distribution, citing their standard process to reduce the spread of misinformation. The justification: 51 former intelligence officials sign a letter claiming the story has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. The aftermath: the story has since been verified as legitimate. Former Twitter executives called the decision a mistake. The intelligence letter was allegedly prompted by senior members of the Biden campaign. The Ministry of Truth required no ministry building. The censorship industrial complex was created to do what the government legally could not. Listen to the words of a leader at the Election Integrity Partnership, a key node in the censorship network. The Election Integrity Partnership was founded to fill the gap of the things that the government could not do themselves, because the government lacked both the funding and the legal authorizations. When the First Amendment prevents government censorship, the solution is simple: outsource it. Fund universities. Partner with NGOs, pressure platforms. The effect is the same. The fingerprints are harder to trace. The welfare of the people has always been the alibi of tyrants. Albert Camus wrote, "The welfare of the people in particular has always been the alibi of tyrants, and it provides the further advantage of giving the servants of tyranny a good conscience." Dr. Fauci admitted he intentionally misdirected the public on masks to prevent a run on PPE and nudged herd immunity data to promote vaccination. The irony: these actions, intended to produce a socially beneficial outcome, fall under the government's own definition of disinformation. Public health attempts to regulate misinformation threw gasoline on the fire of conspiracy theories and called it water. The question is no longer whether we will live in a dystopia, but which one. The Orwellian nightmare, my nightmare, is control through pain, fear, and overt oppression, a boot stamping on a human face forever. What we hate will ruin us. The Huxleyan nightmare, Aldous' vision, is control through pleasure, pharmacology, and distraction, a world where people fall in love with their servitude. What we love will ruin us. In 1949, Huxley wrote to me, "I feel that the nightmare of 1984 is destined to become a nightmare of a world that bears more resemblance to what I imagined. It will come as a result of a felt need for increased efficiency." Perhaps we were both right. Online censorship today is training the AI of tomorrow. Generative AI systems are trained on the vast corpus of the internet. This AI will implicitly reflect the censorship, biases, and viewpoint-based content moderation that occurred in its source material. Consider what this means. By curating the digital present, we are permanently altering the historical record from which future intelligence will learn. We are building a memory hole at planetary scale. The Ministry of Truth in my novel employed thousands of workers to rewrite history. Your algorithms will do it automatically, invisibly, and permanently. Science is not a list of truths. It is a process of inquiry. Dr. Fauci declared in 2021, "Attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science." This statement reveals a profound misunderstanding of the scientific method. Science has never been merely a list of truths and untruths. It is a process of continuous scrutiny, debate, and evolution. To shut down debate in the name of science is to halt the process itself. When an official becomes synonymous with science, when questioning that official becomes heresy, you have not elevated science. You have created a priesthood. Sanity is not statistical. In 1984, I wrote, "The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And yet, he was in the right. They were wrong, and he was right." I also wrote, "Being in a minority, even a minority of one, did not make you mad. There was truth, and there was untruth. And if you clung to the truth even against the whole world, you were not mad. Truth is not determined by consensus. Reality is not subject to majority vote. The individual who sees clearly in a world of manufactured blindness is not insane. They are the last line of defense. Freedom from prescribed orthodoxy is the fixed star in our constitutional constellation." In 1943, the Supreme Court declared in West Virginia versus Barnett, "If there is any fixed star in our constitutional constellation, it is that no official, high or petty, can prescribe what shall be orthodox in politics, nationalism, religion, or other matters of opinion or force citizens to confess by word or act their faith therein." This is the inheritance your founders left you. This is what I tried to protect with my warnings. The question I leave with you is simple. Will you be worthy of that inheritance? The choice, as always, remains yours.